Have you ever wondered why someone can become attractive to you almost overnight? One day, they're just another person in the crowd. The next day, suddenly you're checking your phone every 5 minutes, replaying conversations in your head, and wondering if they liked your last message. And here's the really strange part. Why do we sometimes become even more interested in someone after they reject us? It sounds completely irrational. If someone doesn't want us, shouldn't we just move on? Well, our brains have other plans. Today, we're diving into the hidden psychology behind attraction and rejection. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll start noticing these psychological tricks everywhere. Let's begin. Attraction feels magical. Movies tell us it's fate. Songs tell us it's destiny. Your friend who fell in love after making eye contact for 2 seconds at a coffee shop definitely believes it's destiny. But psychology paints a different picture. Attraction isn't random. Our brains are constantly making calculations behind the scenes. Most of the time, we don't even realize it's happening. For example, have you heard of something called the mere exposure effect? It's a fancy psychological term that means the more often we see something, the more we tend to like it. That's right. One reason you may develop feelings for someone is simply because you keep seeing them. A classmate, a coworker, a neighbor, the person who somehow ends up at every place you go. At first, they're just there. Then they're familiar, then comfortable. Then somehow your brain starts saying, you know what? I kind of like this person. The funny thing is that your brain often mistakes familiarity for attraction. It's like hearing a song you didn't like at first. After hearing it 50 times, you're suddenly singing it in the shower. Humans are weird. But attraction goes deeper than familiarity. Another powerful factor is similarity. People often say opposites attract. Psychology says that's not entirely true. Sure, opposites can be exciting, but long-term attraction usually grows between people who share similar values, interests, beliefs, or experiences. Think about it. When you discover someone likes the same movies, music, hobbies, or random internet memes as you, something clicks. Your brain starts thinking, wow, this person gets me. And feeling understood is incredibly attractive. In fact, many people don't fall in love with perfection. They fall in love with feeling seen. Now let's talk about something even stranger. Why does attraction often increase when someone seems slightly unavailable? You know exactly what I'm talking about. The person who replies instantly? Nice. The person who takes 3 hours? Interesting. The person who takes 3 days? Suddenly, you've become a detective. You're analyzing timestamps like you're solving a criminal investigation. Why? Because uncertainty creates curiosity. And curiosity keeps our brains engaged. Psychologists have found that when rewards are unpredictable, they become more exciting. It's the same reason people get addicted to slot machines. You don't know when the reward is coming. So your brain keeps waiting, keeps hoping, keeps checking. This doesn't mean playing games is healthy, but it explains why uncertainty can sometimes make attraction feel stronger. Now let's move to rejection. Because this is where things get really interesting. Nobody likes rejection. Whether it's being ignored, turned down, or left on read for 12 hours. Okay, maybe that last one hurts more than it should. But rejection isn't just emotionally painful. Studies have shown that rejection activates some of the same brain regions associated with physical pain. That's right. Your brain treats social rejection almost like an actual injury, which explains why rejection can feel so intense. But here's the twist. Sometimes rejection makes people even more attracted to the person who rejected them. Why would that happen? Well, one reason is something psychologists call psychological reactance. Basically, humans hate losing freedom. The moment something becomes unavailable, it suddenly seems more valuable. Imagine a store puts a sign on a product saying, limited stock. Suddenly, everybody wants it. Even people who didn't care 5 minutes ago. The same thing can happen in relationships. When someone rejects us, our brain sometimes focuses even more on what we can't have. Not because the person suddenly became perfect, but because access was removed. Our minds don't always want what is best. Sometimes they just want what is unavailable. And that leads to another psychological trap. Idealization. When someone rejects us, we often stop seeing them realistically. Instead, we create a perfect version of them inside our heads. We remember their best qualities. We ignore their flaws. We turn a normal human being into a masterpiece. Meanwhile, in reality, they probably forget where they left their keys every day just like everyone else. Our imagination can be incredibly convincing. That's why rejection often hurts more when we're attached to the fantasy than the actual person. But here's the most important thing to understand. Rejection doesn't automatically mean something is wrong with you. Attraction is complicated. People are influenced by timing, circumstances, personal preferences, emotional readiness, life goals, and countless factors you may never know about. Think about food for a second. One person loves spicy food. Another person hates it. The food didn't change. The preference did. Human attraction works similarly. Not everyone will connect with everyone. And that's normal. In fact, the healthiest people understand something powerful. Attraction is not a measure of your worth. It's simply a measure of compatibility. There's a huge difference. If one person doesn't choose you, it doesn't reduce your value. It just means the match wasn't right. And strangely enough, understanding this can make you more attractive. Why? Because confidence grows when you stop treating rejection as proof that you're not enough. People are naturally drawn to those who don't need constant approval to feel valuable. Now here's the biggest secret of all. The strongest attraction usually happens when people are genuinely focused on living their own lives. Not obsessing, not chasing validation, not spending 3 hours decoding a text message that only says, okay. When people are passionate, curious, confident, and engaged with life, they become magnetic. Because real attraction isn't just about appearance. It's about energy. It's about how someone makes you feel. It's about authenticity. And authenticity is surprisingly rare. So the next time you find yourself attracted to someone, take a moment to ask yourself, do I genuinely like this person? Or do I like the attention they give me? Do I know who they really are? Or am I filling the gaps with imagination? And if you face rejection, ask yourself another question. Am I missing this person? Or am I missing the idea of what could have been? Those two questions can reveal more than you think. Because attraction and rejection aren't just experiences. They're mirrors. They reveal our fears, desires, insecurities, hopes, and expectations. And once you understand the psychology behind them, you stop feeling controlled by them. You start seeing the hidden patterns, the invisible rules, the mental shortcuts your brain has been using all along. And maybe that's the most attractive thing of all, understanding yourself. Because when you truly understand yourself, attraction becomes less confusing, rejection becomes less painful, and relationships become a whole lot healthier. And that's something your brain will definitely appreciate.